I think that you guys actually would probably, because here's the thing, like it's like you guys like you do know that like Goethe and Hegel were German. Like
Of course.
the only people who are appreciating Goethe and Hegel are like communists. Like you guys are doing the worst at
What?
this. You know,
National
even by your
Socialism. What do
own
you, no,
by
that's not
your
true.
own standards,
That's not
you are
true.
the
That's not
worst
true.
at preserving
That's not
your
true.
own culture. I think communism, for the very reason that you gave, ought to be successful.
No, that's not true at all. That's not
No,
true at
it's
all. I don't
absolutely
understand.
true, I think.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That's actually wrong. And the reason why I'm not German myself, I'm Greek, right? And National Socialism in and of itself isn't pertained towards that of a German consciousness, right? What National Socialism is the exact same ideation of Marxism, right? It's a worldview where you think history manifests itself from, where you think, for instance, how human society promulgates itself forth. All we just say, I'm not trying to be reductionist,
It's
but all we
an
just say
expression
is
of
based on
that national, that people's consciousness.
yeah, it's nothing. It's
And I
nothing.
think
It's not attached
that
to
can
German.
better be preserved in communism.
Oh my God, how?
I think
It's
I think it's
cosmopolitan
actually
worldview.
it's a yeah, and it's only by going through that 0 point that you can have a actual recognition of something like the greatness of like a work like Faust. It's
So for
only
instance, how?
by recognizing its relation to all other works that you can see its
Okay,
greatness.
so then we need to understand this point of view. How would you facilitate the continuation of German consciousness then under this proletariat? If the proletariat,
Because they exist because it's pre-existent.
how is it
It
going to be
exists before
expressed?
it's expressed in the same way that it's expressed as the German proletariat.
But the German proletariat will lose its identity, becomes cosmopolitan. I don't understand this because, for instance, a National Socialist.
Identity doesn't matter. What matters is
I'll let you
the
go.
works in a culture. Like identity is an empty abstraction. I think what ought to happen is the recognition of particular works in a.
It goes from friend-enemy distinction as well. Do you think, for instance, as a National Socialist will tell you, that the continuation of a certain consciousness is stipulated via race, right? But race isn't this materialistic notion of it, where, for instance, it's merely a physiological thing, right? Race constitutes a language, cultural consciousness, as well as that of an aesthetic quality, which provides.
This is all materialist. I will say.
What does it matter?
It's especially aesthetics. Like
Yeah,
it's,
it doesn't.
absolutely.
Yeah, National Socialism is like inherently Aristotelian, but it's. Why does it matter if it's materialist in that conception? I don't understand.
I thought you were saying it wasn't.
No. I'm fine saying it is. Okay. I'm fine saying it is. But the thing is that for a National Socialist, that's what constitutes the continuation of a society. Those three pillars: language, because it's a structure of consciousness, which is a unique expression of it, which you obviously know; culture, which is the habitual, the traditionalism and the habituations that are developed within a culture to survive in this world; and race, which is an aesthetic quality, provides the physical representation of those ideas, solubility. So, that's what a National Socialist will tell you.
Probably, no, it's all there in communism.
Yeah, but with the removal of the race, which is the physical representation of it, what happens? How do you constitute that consciousness to continue?
There is not going to be a removal of the race.
Of course there will be. If you miscegenate,
no.
if you mix breed and the aesthetics change, it changes society. The consciousness can change. The same way as if you change aesthetics.
The German race is not going to be eliminated.
You don't know that.
Like,
you don't know that.
No. I'll actually go as far as to say I do.
No, you don't. You do not know that.
No, I do.
No, you don't.
No.
That's just a belief state that you have.
No, I do.
That you believe the reality manifests itself towards.
No, I do. I know that.
Mm-mm.
I think that actually denial of that is probably
race. Look. The same
denying
way,
that the German people,
the same
saying
way,
that they'll go extinct is probably
it's
a typo idea.
Huggus.
I think you're probably schizophrenic.
I need to intercede for a second. I'm letting you over talk me as well, and I'm trying to be very polite in this conversation because I respect you. I do respect you, and I'm trying to be very, very honest with you. the same way, for instance, that the Bronze Age collapse led to the destruction of civilizations and a specific consciousness that happened. For instance, the Hittite civilization that was destroyed in Anatolia, right? These consciousnesses are gone. It's irrevocably gone forever, and a new one emerges. It doesn't, for instance, what you're describing to me is that, sure, some phenotypical traits of Germany will survive, right? A German phenotypically will survive, but it will change. A consciousness will change.
And it will be a better because it's
better
not
one.
a liberal
Exactly. It'll be
because
it'll
it's
be
not
a better
liberal.
one. But that's your value judgment of what better is. Not my value judgment of what better is.
So actually, this is all going towards my point because you say that they won't phenotypically change, right? Which is all I just wanted to say.
They can change
also,
phenotypically.
but the German phenotype won't be a race, right? That's all I was saying. And I was also trying to make the point. I was also trying to make the point that this consciousness actually will be in some way liberated because it's not under the sort of liberal. It's it's just the expression of German proletarian ideology, which is like just German culture.
So what do you think about Adolf Spengler?
Not good.
Why?
I just don't take much interest.
Have you read him?
No.
You see, you don't take much interest in the people that I've read, and those people provide different perspectives. You seem very stern on this version of German proletariat consciousness, which you think is the actual representation of what Germany should be, and you see the bourgeoisie as a parasitical entity which feeds off of them via, obviously, surplus value and stuff like that. And you think that the removal of the bourgeoisie will then free the proletariat consciousness, which is actual German consciousness. But then you accept this sort of cosmopolitanism, which is weird, because this cosmopolitanism will lead to a new identity, which can then lead to the removal of German consciousness into something else.
I think it's only through that new identity that there can be an actual recognition of what German culture is.
The removal of the bourgeoisie. You see, man, the thing is that when I talk to you, I kind of see where the fuck Hitler was going. You know what I mean? Like Hitler was obviously a corporatist in his economics. He tried to remove this version of of the exploitation because.
And this is where you have to double down on being a capitalist after all.
No, you don't.
No, you do.
No, you don't.
You
no,
do.
You don't.
Like,
corporatism is not capitalism.
No, by Marxist definition, it has to be capitalism. Like, it's definitionally like.
Yeah, but we have socialism too. We have Prussian socialism.
No, you I'm sure this has been explained to you many times. We do not consider that in any way.
Yeah, because we don't prescribe to metaphysics.
No, because but on the basis of our economics alone. No. On the basis of economics alone, it's absolutely not socialist. Like, definitionally, it can't be.
Yeah, like, how is having a mixed market?
Tiger, you're pissing me off. Stop.
No. Like, I'm being very blunt with you right now. This is you. I have to explain this to every third positionist, corporatist, whatever. I know you will say that corporatism is not capitalist. I know. I've heard it literally hundreds of times. I will tell you. I know you're gonna.
I understand that Marx is
100% by definition capitalist.
We understand.
You do not understand why it's not capitalist, and I do not. You need to understand why it's not. That's my one demand of you.
How do you pronounce your name? Hagust? Hagist?
Yeah.
August?
Hagist.
Okay. Yeah, I get where you're coming from too. I guess by his own notion, he could also consider like social democracy to be socialist.
No.
Yeah, many people do.
Wait. You consider social democracy to be socialist?
No. Many people do consider it.
No, shut up, Brenda. Anyway.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong.
They're fucking.
No, there's no such thing as wrong in definitions.
I'm having a conversation with a guy right now. Like, just stop.
There's only one definition. It's the Marxist definition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like, that doesn't function in that way. Just stop talking.
Oh my God, Brenda, please, this is not your time.
And now the guy left.
I can do whatever the hell I want.
Never mind, the guy's gone. Ugh.
Oh, you made the fucking guy leave.
Okay, are you guys on?
Yeah, Zeus, I don't understand what you mean though by saying that like.
Fuck off, dude.
Corporatism is somehow socialism. Oh, he's gone.
angry Greek guy that can't get white women to fuck him is
Oh
gone?
no, Zeus has gone too down. I was
Yeah,
going to ask him why that guy said he was a Maoist.
The no true Scotsman fallacy is a fallacy. You can't just define things and then declare your definition the one true definition.
Wait, what were you guys talking about?
Zeus was trying to say that corporatism is socialism, and that socialism can be right wing. It's just different from the Marxian sense. But like,
I mean, it's socialism for the rich. I mean, but other than that, he's full of shit.
I'm pretty sure the whole point of socialism is abolishment of private property. So even then, it wouldn't make sense for a right winger to be socialist.
Well, technically,
if that's the case, it's more that like the right wing is just trying to claim and latch on to socialism and rebrand it and bastardize it to fit their own like definition. But at that point, it's so different that it's not even considered socialist. It's just like smoshalism or something. I don't know.
well, it's a form of it's just control of society by groups, right? Interest groups.
What were people so upset about?
I don't know. There was a Nazi and a communist talking, and
Oh,
they
an actual Nazi? I don't think I've ever met one.
well,
Well,
I
it's
assume he was.
a self-described National Socialist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Nazi.
From
That's
Greece.
interesting. I don't think I've ever actually met a Nazi before.
Oh, I have. Not in person, but definitely on the
He
internet.
won't say it because he knows that like if he says it, he's gonna get a lot of shit on Discord. So he'll just try to tease out his positions.
I personally don't care. I would just rather engage them. I don't care what the labels is. If you have
Right, me neither. I'm just saying that's what he does. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know there
it's
really
just
were
it's
any actual
no
Nazis
different
left.
than
Yes,
they're
is
no
this
different
like your
than
first time on
communists.
Discord? Dude, I've met with Adam Waffen Division people.
Especially in Greece, by the way. Greece
yeah.
has like a really big Nazi.
Every time I see Haggis, I feel like they're talking to me because of the same spelling, but no, it's Hagust. Ah, nice. A person with that name, and they're also communist. That's cool.
He's in text chat. You can invite him back if you want.
Talking about Zeus. Hold on.
So who is the Nazi guy? What's his username?
Zeus.
It's Greek letters. I don't know Greek.
It's Zeus.
So his argument was that National Socialism can be right wing or something?
No, what he was trying to say is that National Socialism's definition of socialism makes it so socialism doesn't have to be Marxian, and that socialism isn't exclusive to Marx, and that right-wing socialism is a thing. But at that point, when the way you're describing socialism in the, I guess, non-Marxian sense, it's so different from what actually socialism is that there's no even point of calling it socialism in the first place. Like, I don't understand why Nazis and fascists have this thing where they basically call themselves socialists, but they're clearly not. And they're so derivative of like what the actual like term is that there's really no point of calling yourself a socialist.
Well, they have socialistic features such as a command economy and a lot of other features, but it's not technically socialism. But there's an overlap between socialism and fascist economics.
No, like you can have a mixed market economy, but mixed market economies aren't necessarily socialist per se.
Well,
You
they're
could-
socialistic.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's socialistic, meaning they borrow concepts, right? So when you have things like regulation of industry instead of, that's socialistic instead of laissez-faire. It's not laissez-faire.
Regulation of industry? You think
Yeah.
that's socialist?
Yeah,
How
For-
is it social?
because it's for the greater good of the community. It has social concerns built in, unlike
I don't,
unlike
I don't think I don't think that's necessarily like entails socialism.
I didn't say it necessarily entails it. I said it's just an overlap. It's just a feature that is shared. A command economy is part of it too. So the Nazis in Germany had a command economy.
Well, that's not, I mean, not in its entirety, right? I mean, there were elements of the National Socialist economy that were centrally planned, but they still permitted the existence of private property. Less so approaching the conclusion of the war, but that sort of wartime central planning was emulated by various other economies as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, but what they told businesses what prices their products were. They told who they could hire and who they couldn't hire, right? Who and what they would produce and how much they would produce. What they
Yeah,
could sell
agreed.
and what they couldn't sell. That's
Yeah, but
that's a
state
very
regulation.
that's a very tightly controlled command economy.
Yeah, but state regulation does not mean socialism.
Ooh, it sure as hell is. That's exactly what
No,
every
it just
socialist country has
means-
done is
it's just-
tightly controlled what can and can't be done in the economic sphere.
Just
Well, they do. They control prices and they control production. That's the whole point of socialism is to
a
seize
lot of countries
production.
do that though, and they don't call themselves socialist.
Yeah, it's necessary, but it's not sufficient. A socialist economy is going to seize the mode of production, and it's going to have a command economy, and they're going to tell business, or they won't have private property, but they're going to tell the businesses and things how much they're going to produce and how much it's going to sell for. That's the whole point of socialism.
Mm-mm.
That nature. Brenda, are you referring to communist dictatorships when you say that?
Well, that's what socialism is. It's a dictatorship.
Wait, hold on. Like, I don't know about that.
Well, it has to be.
Wait, hold on,
It can't-
Wolf. Have you
it-
ever been
you
around
can't
when
have-
like, Brenda gives her
You can't
definition
have
of socialism
a free
before?
economy under socialism because that's just a contradiction as to what socialism is.
Oh, well, hold on. What was the question Hagar asked?
I
Hey,
asked
well-
Brenda if like do controlled markets or state like when the state intervenes in markets, does that necessarily entail like socialistic traits? And I
Yeah.
think Brenda,
Yeah.
by the way, yeah. So apparently, when you have a capitalist economy and when the state intervenes within the market, that's socialistic, according to Brenda.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's regular capitalism, but that's not necessarily socialism.
Yeah.
Like, if you,
I
like,
didn't,
if you
I didn't
have,
say it's
well, like, say
socialism.
you have like, say hold on real quick. Say you have like, say you have like a capitalist economy with some kind of social safety net or something like that. Like countries that don't necessarily do away with things like,
Yes,
I don't know,
that's
like
a mixed
crony
That's a
capitalism,
mixed
something like that.
economy.
You can have
Yeah, that's a mixed economy where
you
you
can
have.
have countries.
But mixed
Right.
economies are not socialist.
Yeah,
so
yeah, well,
we're
hold
I
on.
didn't say they were
Yeah,
socialist.
well,
I
they're
said
not.
they're
Yeah, exactly.
socialistic.
They wouldn't necessarily. They wouldn't necessarily be socialist. I mean, if you're talking about like places like Sweden or Denmark and places like that sort of have like socialist governments and
They don't
things
have
like
socialist
that,
governments.
alongside separation of powers.
No,
And
they
that's
don't
perfectly
have.
fine, but that's not necessarily what actual socialists and communists are talking
Yeah,
about.
that's
That
yes.
when
I
they meet.
understand that Sweden is not socialist; they're capitalist, but their policies are socialistic.
universal health care and like,
Yes.
say welfare.
Yes.
Those are socialist.
Yes, those are
It's
socialistic
it's more
policies.
progressive.
Those are
I
policies.
wouldn't even call it socialistic.
Well, everybody else does. You
I would
you
say-
can't, but everybody else does.
Like okay, then like the majority are not informed.
Okay,
No,
well, see,
that's just a
see,
true- no
to be
true
fair,
Scotsman
to be fair,
fallacy.
right? Just real quick, just real quick. To be fair, right? Social democracy is in the history of socialism, but it's more right-wing away from ultimately doing away with capitalism because its policies ultimately maintain the capitalist system. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not really
Yes.
going to like get.
Yes, but it's
You're
with,
not getting rid of.
yes, but
You're
social.
not actually getting rid of capitalism while
Yes,
under
but social.
socialist democracy.
Yes,
That's
I
social
understand
democracy.
all that, but social democracy is in with the history of socialism. It is a form of the socialistic program.
Wait, really?
What's
Oh, yeah,
the
it's
What are
line?
you talking about?
Brenda, you do
It's
realize
What are you
throughout
It's not
history
talking
the
about?
revolutionary. That's the point.
the social democrats and the communists and socialists didn't get along with each other historically.
Yes,
right? They
that's why
actually,
we
like,
got Hitler.
Oh my fucking.
It is.
Yeah, but look, that's not a reason to defer to like social democrats, right?
No,
that just
it's
means
not.
like
That's
a
true.
lack of don't interrupt. Just please stop interrupting me. Just means a lack of left unity resulted in the emergence of the Nazi regime post Weimar collapse. I don't see how any of that leads you to the conclusion that people ought fucking support social democrats, right? I'm not getting that.
The lack of unity
Uh,
didn't
I'm
lead
just saying that
to
that was a
the rise
negative-
of it. I think it led to
It facilitated the Nazi
And-
party
and the
seizing
way
enough
you-
power to maintain control of Germany.
And the way you formulated that
Gotcha.
answer,
Good enough.
Pogan, was begging the question.
You think I'm begging the question?
Yeah, you were just presupposing that the Social Democrats should have been communists.
Wrong. I asked you how you got from a lack of left unity to supporting social democrats.
It's an undesirable outcome.
What?
So,
Yeah, that's how.
what are you talking about?
I'm saying that it was undesirable, right, to have that outcome.
So,
Yeah,
there's no entailment of that.
it's my
look,
preference.
It doesn't follow from that. Look, it doesn't follow from that you should support social democrats. The question I'm asking you is, how did you get from the emergence of the Nazi Party in virtue of a lack of left unity, right? The Nazi Party seizing power to we ought support social democrats. That was the question I asked
because
you.
that's preferable. It's preferable to Nazism.
So is communism. So is socialism.
No, I actually don't really think so. I don't really think either is preferable.
Okay, then you're just expressing your desire, then,
Yeah,
right? You're not
that's-
actually making an argument that there's
Is there something else?
there's some persuasive case to be made for supporting social democrats there.
In politics, is there something else other than my desires?
Well, we can show that like something like social democracy would long term be detrimental for the vast majority of people, right? We could get into an argument like that. I assumed you made the case that there was some reason external to just your desires that people ought to support social democrats in a situation like that. But if you're just saying you prefer it, right, you personally want it, then that's not fucking interesting.
Do you have a moral
Yeah.
system that isn't just preference?
Who gives a fuck about morals?
Yeah.
Well, that's what politics are.
No.
Yeah,
no, Brenda.
yeah, it is.
Brenda,
It's just
Brenda,
preferences about.
Brenda, this is like this is
It's
reductionism.
just preferences
It's not
about-
really.
It's just
All right,
preferences.
I'm not interested.
It's just preferences about how one would desire the society be organized.
This is just like false reductionism, right? Nobody's going to
So-
accept that this sort of case just reduces to like what you personally think is ethically preferable, right? You basically just told us that for some strange unknown reason, you think social democracy is ethically preferable to not only Nazism, but also like other forms of leftism such as communism and socialism.
Absolutely.
And that presumably by your own lights is going to reduce to just your preferences,
yes.
none of which are interesting to us, right?
Yes, I don't.
It's just a waste of time.
Well, whatever. Then shut up. Yeah. Yes, I prefer the social democracies, the mixed economies, to both Nazism and really existing socialism and communism. Yes, I do.
Who cares about any of this?
But that's all that politics is competing interests.
No,
Yeah,
No,
it
I
is.
disagree.
That's all it is. There isn't.
You can
What
make
else is there?
utilitarian cases for why some systems would be preferable long term relative to others.
Well, maybe
right?
I'm not a
I could give you all sorts of.
utilitarian.
I
I'm
could
not a
give you all sorts.
utilitarian.
I could give you all sorts
What
of
the fuck?
arguments. I could give you all sorts of arguments that social democracy, right, functionally just results in the existence of private property and continued capitalism. We could get into that, but I'm not gonna because I have reason to think you're just basically telling me what your personal preferences are, and that's not interesting.
Yes, then I don't understand why you're in this.
Because I assumed you had an argument, right? That's why I intervened.
I do. My argument is the vast majority of people are going to prefer a progressive mixed economy, a social democracy, to either Nazism or communism.
I don't see how that's the case. And I don't even see how, if that was the case, we ought to prefer social democracy.
There's no
I
oughts.
think most
What are you
people are
talking
gonna
about
prefer
oughts? There aren't
Sharia
any
law.
oughts. There are no oughts. What are you talking about? It's just competing interests. That's all there is. People think the Zeus who was in here, his preference is for a hard right authoritarian social structure. The other person, I forget their name, their preference is for an authoritarian socialist structure, and I prefer liberalism. I prefer freedom.
Okay. Wait, liberalism, freedom. Okay, not
Yeah,
this
that's what
again.
liberalism is.
It's Kathleen all over again.
So what is?
What do you mean? What? I mean, liberalism is based on individual liberties and rights.
No, I was asked, I just
Yeah.
came into the room. I was asking.
Yeah, that's all it is. It focuses on equality, individual liberty, individual rights. I mean, you can add things like social safety nets, like welfare or Medicare or universal health care. You can bolt those things on, right?
No one cares.
Oh, okay. Well, enjoy losing in the elections for the rest of your life.